name's Alicia Power. Thanks for being with me here today. I'd like to talk a little bit about situations that happen in our lives that are uncomfortable, that may even be tragedies. Moments where you're thinking to yourself, how can I even cope? How can I cope with a situation that just seems so tough, so hard in our lives? Every now and again something like this happens to me in my life as well. And I'm a little bit unusual because I've got fast online communication with my spirit guides, with my spirit tutors. I call them spirit tutors because they teach me so much. So I'm a little bit unusual where I've got that access point for communication, for help, for support, for insight. And I'd love to just look at and explore this. How do we as humans get support? How do we look after ourselves? How do we help ourselves in a moment where, life can feel really, really hard for whatever reason? There are a multitude of reasons that we can be feeling down, losing hope, just sad, lots and lots of reasons. So for me, I've got lots of tools and skills that I work with really quickly. I observe the tone of my thinking really quickly, and I make sure that I don't allow my thoughts to go down in a thought spiral, in a negative spiral. I watch them. I watch the tone of my thinking very, very carefully, because I know that my thoughts push my emotions around. I mentioned this in another video. And if your emotions begin to control you, that's so tough, because our wiring we're just on the end of a fishing rod that's controlling us. We can be just spinning out of control really quickly and really easily and overwhelmed. And it's not about not allowing feelings and emotions and acknowledging them and seeing the truth of what they want to say to us and letting them come up for healing. And it's not about that. It's about keeping equanimity, allowing the truth of our feelings and what we're experiencing to be real for us, but at the same time managing our whole system, our mental system, our emotional system, our stability, so that we can still feel a measure of self-love and self-respect, and so that we can find like a slippery step as we're coming out of some kind of a seawater swimming pool, where we can get a foothold of empowerment back and begin to feel inside of ourselves hope again and empowerment again. Because the state of empowerment gives us a capacity and a capability to change our thought style. So our inner state controls our thinking. So for me, after 4 decades of spiritual mastery training, I really know that whether it's through meditation, whether it's through so many different tools that I have, is to find again that measure of stability, that feeling of empowerment. And the reason is that I will think thoughts that continue to empower me rather than disempower me and lead me down into holes and into wells of self-pity, of hopelessness, and stuckness. And because I'm human, I've been there a lot over my life. And I'm also very aware that life is short and I need to stay stable internally and feeling competent in my life, and capable of my soul expression, for example, of generating revenue so that I can pay my bills, of just keeping life happening. It's totally okay to take time out and heal wounds. Very important, actually. And at the same time, that healing is important so that you begin to move back into maybe a whole new level of expression, soul expression, life purpose. The healing is important to bring you back to stability. So what I'm talking about here is being deliberate about bringing yourself back to stability so that your life still functions, and so that you can bring yourself back to a measure of balance where you can deal with deep feelings that could be coming up, but within the context of feeling balanced, staying balanced as you're feeling whatever deep emotions are there, or even looking at your feeling of stuckness, or even looking at why you're feeling overwhelmed. So hopefully what you're hearing me say is that to build this sense of stability inside of yourself, to come back to a feeling of stability so that you can deal with out of control emotions and deal with life circumstances continuing to function. I work with my spirit helpers, my spirit tutors, my spirit guides. I'm very competent in partnering with them in my subtle energetics, in my electromagnetics. Because I'm telepathic with them, I invite them quite quickly to rewire my electromagnetic force field, my aura, which I know that the waveforms of my thoughts and the waveforms of my emotions are actually sitting out in my electromagnetic field, my aura. And my spirit tutors are ancient masters at rewiring the electromagnetic field. So I partner with them, and I have professionally actually for the last 30 or so years, I partner with them for myself in any moments where really big jarring things might happen in my life. They will quite quickly, with me partnering with them, giving them instructions, asking them for help, they will come in and change the wiring so that I'm feeling more calm, more relaxed, and more able to look at my life squarely and deal with it and cope. And again, as I'm saying, be functional. So very practical ways of working with my spirit tutors. Daily, I work with them and partner with them to keep me balanced, to keep me self-loving and self-respecting, which is like a core inner pivot point really for me in my life. That is a priority. That's the platform inside of myself that I prefer to stay, feeling comfortable inside of myself, self-loving, self-caring, and self-respecting inside of myself. Just mentioning the way I work so that you can see that there's a possibility for you that these kinds of practices aren't just very floss, they're very real and practical. Professionally watching over those 33 decades, spirit tutors rewiring people's electromagnetic fields and helping people instantly feel more stable, more buoyant, more empowered. So partnering with spirit tutors is a lot of fun because life can become more consistent in that whole self-love flow and that self-respecting feeling inside of yourself. So many things on the outside of us can interrupt our equanimity in our lives. And this is why I talk about and share how I work with spirit tutors very, very practically to keep my thinking comfortable, relaxed, happy, my feelings relaxed, open-hearted, cheerful, so that I enjoy my life. So this beautiful practical way of partnering with the worlds of spirit, wanted to offer that for you today so that you can see that it's real. Tough circumstances are real in our life. They really, really are. And every single day we might be meeting something that feels a bit out of control. And so my suggestion for you is, here's a quick tip, is to close your eyes, invite a spirit being of love and light to approach you and always make sure they are off the love and light. You can ask them point blank, are you off the love and the light? It's really important to make sure that you feel safe. Always trust your gut instinct, always. And when you feel a beautiful presence, a beautiful energy coming towards you, all you need to do, this is important, all you need to do is ask them to heal you, to lift you, to heal you. These words are actually meaningful in the spirit worlds. To lift you, to heal you. To them, what you're saying is you want an outcome, you want a result that's a more buoyant result. You want more love flowing through your system. So the moment you ask for that healing, for that help, my suggestion is to sit down and go quiet and really still. The quieter and the more still you are, that being in the spirit world will flush your energy system with a new kind of energy, and they'll begin to, it's a search and rescue if you like. They'll begin to assess, scan, and notice where something's really hooked, like an emotion is really hooked in you, and they'll begin to melt that actually and vacuum it out of your system. And quite quickly you'll feel a bit buoyant, and a really practical result of a moment like that, where you let a spirit being just shift you a little bit, the practical result is that your thinking and decision making changes just like that from that moment onwards. You may not even notice it because you're busy, but the truth is that in a moment after you've asked for that help and you've allowed it to take place, give it 5 minutes, 10 minutes of a kind of a where you're being imbued by the spirit being's energy. It's actually doing a lot of hard, fast work in your wiring, but what is the change is that your thinking changes afterwards. It's like instead of traveling down that groove, it's going down that groove, and it's hopeful, slightly more lateral thoughts, new ideas are coming in. Are you hearing me? Are you seeing that? That's the change. And then everything else starts to change from that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Much love. Alicia Power. Namaste.